What up, everybody? Welcome to Wheel Talks. I'm Marty O'Connor, and this is my boy,
Sonny Casebout.
The show doesn't work out. Anyways.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Will Talks. This is going to be part 2 of our series.
Wheel relationships. Today we're talking all about managing the relationship.
Manager, I thought I was maintaining.
Or whatever, dude. I don't know why we're
Managing.
talking about it anyways. Who the hell are we to talk about relationships?
Yeah. Well, actually,
Yeah.
You're pretty solid right now.
I'm doing all right now.
Yeah.
I feel like
actually, I'm going to
managing.
hold back because, I'm
should.
going to
Yeah.
hear a little bit of fuss over there from me
Okay.
having a serious crush on your girlfriend. So I got to,
It's okay
chill.
that you love my girlfriend, bro. It's a compliment, I swear.
I'll comb my jets a little bit on that one.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, today we want to get into all about managing the relationship, wheel relationships, that
Wheel.
is. You know, relationships come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether you're two able-bodied people, whether you're in a chair, your partner's in a chair, whatever, we think that we got the sauce to bring it to you to
Exactly.
keep that shit going, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about taking a stand.
That
you
is
gotta take
true.
a stand for your relationship. If you believe in it, you got to take a stand.
Yeah, we're not talking about like a prideful stand or an ego stand, but an actual stand.
Right? Like, and it doesn't have to be hard. It should be easy.
Yeah, you should just be able to crank, boom, you're up.
Easy.
And you're standing.
Right?
In all your glory.
Easy.
Easy.
Stand.
Stand. Easy.
Stand.
Easy.
Oh my God. We love you guys at Easy Stand. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting all of us getting back up on our feet, getting
Yes.
them health benefits, stretching our legs.
Absolutely.
With the gyms not open, we know it's making a big difference.
It's
you know.
been clutch. It's coming very clutch from me.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man.
And you get to hit it like the elliptical. You get a little.
Yeah, I get to work out in every day. I stretch my legs out. It's just helped with seriously like blood circulation.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes at the end of the night, my feet are so swollen and my legs just look like they've been through war. But standing up, it makes my feet and my whole body just feel great.
Mm-hmm.
What about
I
you?
agree.
What about you?
Yeah. I get up there at work.
Yeah.
You know, I get to work a little core. I do a little circle.
Yeah,
Bring it back the other way.
You do the
Like,
Dougie?
Oh,
Do the
hey.
Dougie? The motorbike?
Oh, and then
Yeah.
I get a little kiss, a little smooch
Oh,
down there. But yeah, we love you guys, Easy Stand. Thank you. So without further ado, Sonny.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I want to get your take first because I mean, dude,
Man.
I think you're the experienced one of the group here.
Yeah, I've probably
I'm a saint.
yeah, no, you're an angel.
Yeah.
You know, so we won't get into too much of your dirt here.
Is
But
that a wink or a stink? I couldn't tell.
you know, it's in between somewhere.
Okay.
You know, I think the most important part of maintaining relationships is as you get going, communication. So let's start
Huge.
there.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah, communication is big, and it starts from the get-go. I think we got, you know, part one was all about like initiating the relationship, making it happen,
Getting yourself ready.
and you know, I think communication is a big part of it, and that's a thing that's gonna go through the entire relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I've been one who's kind of quiet, private, like my alone time when, you know, I'm going through some shit. I like to handle it on my own, you
Yeah.
know, like, but that's the old me, baby. That's the old me.
Well, you know what I
know?
think it is though, is I think because of everything we're going through, we've learned to departmentalize a lot of the things that we do go through.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we hide our emotions or we bury it, but we departmentalize it and kind of wait for our opening to kind of open up.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think, you know, finding the right partner, I mean, you're into a relationship and you got to know, you know, what your expectations, what your goals are in the relationship,
Right.
whether you're looking short term or long term. So we're all trying to think long term here. We're all adults,
Yeah.
right? We're
Yeah.
freaking adults.
Our end game is to get married.
Yeah. Like you're
At this point in life, yeah, it's get married.
your game is to be long term right now, right, Sonny?
No, it's right now. I'm shooting jumpers from all over the place. You know, I'm just trying to get my fillers out there.
You know what you're shooting, but hey, that's a Westbrook triple double.
I'm shooting my shot right now. I'm shooting my shot right now.
Attaboy,
Absolutely.
attaboy. But you know what, dude? You know where you've been. You know like how
Yeah.
far you've come, and you know what you've been through, and you know that communication is key.
Yeah.
And I think in order to communicate, for me, one thing I truly need is trust.
Yes.
And I think keeping that as a foundation in your relationship. I mean, I know these are like fairly cliche at this point. We'll get into some more specialized details, but
Right.
I think, you know, trust allows like your subconscious to open up.
Yeah.
I think it's the key that opens up that subconscious is that trust factor.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're guarded, I think it's because you don't fully feel comfortable with the person you're with, or even in your own skin. And that's why you got to take care of that shit before you try and get into a serious relationship. Because if you're not comfortable in your own skin and, you know, you're guarded like that, you're not going to be able to open up.
But I think once you have that trust and that foundation laid out for you, I think the next big thing is vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, we live in a culture and a society right now that kind of frowns against vulnerability. Everybody's trying to put their best foot forward through filters, through what they see on Instagram, and like trying to show everybody like, oh, I have this glorious life. But they, you know, we all know there's certain things that we're all dealing with.
For sure.
Everybody has skeletons in the closet, right?
Yeah.
So once you have that trust and you can be emotionally vulnerable with somebody, now you're on the right track.
I feel like guys get a lot of flack for the vulnerability thing, like toxic masculinity is like, you know,
I think it's
keeping
like,
it out. I think it's everybody.
But I think it's amazing when even we have a lot of vulnerable conversations, right?
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I've never felt closer to another human being, regardless of gender, when you can open up and be vulnerable.
To me, he feels that way about me. So he's not yours, honey.
Yeah,
he's mine, and you have to come through me.
This is
So,
probably why
whatever.
you know, my shots are missing right now. But yeah, you know, I'm just trying to figure things out.
His shirt got a little bit tighter.
A little bit
His
tighter
hair's
today. I
looser.
was throwing the biceps out a little
Yeah,
bit, a little
bro.
bit.
We got a question though. But your jumpers are coming from all over.
Yeah,
the
they
place.
are, dude. Yeah,
We know
hook
they're coming
shots, whatever.
deep. Love it, man. But no, vulnerability is a huge thing in a relationship. And I think, especially after you get through like that honeymoon phase, you know, which I think lasts between like 3 and 5 months. If you want to talk to a therapist about it, not that I ever have, I promise.
Have you?
You know, yeah, man.
I have not spoken to a therapist throughout this journey.
Good. I mean, you were already in a better headspace. Like I could say you had something going on, and not to say you couldn't benefit from it, but I think
now I could.
yeah, you're a fucking mess.
A little bit. You know, the quarantine's kind of shown me a couple of sides I didn't know I have. So I might need to talk to a therapist. At some
Why
point.
after 5 white claws do I feel like I need to cry?
Yeah. All of a sudden I drink like 3 Trulies and I'm like, you know, on the phone crying to somebody. But yeah, you know, it is what it is.
What is that at the bottle of Tito's? Is that my insecurity?
Yeah, Tito's is another. Oh man, don't get me started on
No,
Tito's.
not that one. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
they're not our
hold off on
sponsor
that.
yet, so we can't give them any love.
Yeah, not Tito's.
Yeah.
What was that Brock Lesnar thing? It's like, I'm gonna drink Miller Lite because Bud Light won't pay me any money. Remember after that UFC fight?
Yeah, that guy was a douche though. I never liked that guy.
Yeah.
And I thought Cain Velasquez crumbled and made him very much look like a wuss.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
You guys like UFC, right? We should just talk about that. Anyways, let's get back to the vulnerability part. I think once you get past that honeymoon phase, that's the sauce that's going to take you to.
Have you ever
the
been
deeper
scared to be vulnerable though? Have you been like nervous about
100%. I think only in the last like few years, probably in a couple years, was I able to get to that point where I had, you know, the confidence subconsciously because.
Yeah.
You know, I could find that surface level confidence or that liquid courage,
Yeah.
either one, you know, to just like be, you know, the happy-go-lucky fun guy, talk about whatever and do that. But like that deeper stuff, that's like, I think that's trapped in your subconscious because that's, like I said, that's where you're guarded. That's where you're afraid to show other people.
Right.
And I think once you can open that up, that is like a key that will unlock the relationship on both ends. I think showing someone that, you know, it kind of validates them in a way that like, okay, this is for real. I'm worth this person's, you know, deep, dark inner secrets, whether they're dark or not.
Well, I mean, I think our
You know?
situations bring a certain amount of heaviness.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to just talk about what we go through, you know, being in this wheelchair, it's, you know, I tell this in kind of like, not to be dramatic, but like, it's almost everybody's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
To be like, you know, physically disabled, right?
I know it's Tony Robbins. He said it's literally like being a quadriplegic is his worst nightmare. And my nightmares, actual nightmares, were always me not being able to move.
Paralyzed.
Like, and not being able to like yell, punch, scream. And that shit came true. I'm like,
And it's
say,
real.
What, bro? Like, for real? Even though my life ain't a nightmare. I mean,
we've made a dream out of a nightmare for sure. But I remember one time I was in a relationship and I dated this girl for like 2 or 3 months, and we were like at this point where she was like, you know, maybe I had some alcohol in my system, and she finally felt comfortable enough to ask me a question. But she's like, you know, you put on a good front. I know you're a fun guy.
Yeah.
I know you joke about this, that, and the other, but what's really going on?
Yeah.
You know, we had this conversation in my truck, and, you know, I spilt it, but I felt so relieved that she was ready to take on all of it, not just what she sees in the first couple months, you know?
Yeah.
So I think what we're encouraging is once you have that trust and that foundation set, and you know you're with the right person and you're ready to go to the next level, when you can really look at somebody and tell them what's really going on with you, because nobody's perfect, wheelchair or not.
Yeah.
I think that's crucial.
For sure. And, you know, that's the deeper stuff. And communication, vulnerability, all those things are going to contribute to like the deeper emotional connection of the relationship.
Yeah.
And also in managing a relationship, especially one with someone who's in a wheelchair or disabled in some way, that physical stuff matters too, bro.
Yes.
You know, speak to me on that.
All right. So here's my deal. I get asked a lot about what works, what doesn't, sensation, things like this, right? And at first I would get very upset. You know what I mean? If it's the first question you ask me, I'm still going to get upset. But as a relationship develops, and I know you can attest to this, we'll figure it out. Everything's going to work. I could do what other guys do, except for maybe, you know, certain things, positions, whatever, not to be too TMI, but we'll figure it out, you know, but it takes a level of maturity and just communication about it. Like, and I think that's the kind of communication I didn't have before I got hurt that I think would have elevated my other relationships too.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think it's something that, you know, what is different about our situation now and perhaps something in our past life is like the emotional and deeper connection, I think, comes first.
Right.
You know, before just being physical first.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
First or second dates. I mean, a couple weeks into it, we were already, you know,
doing the deed.
Right.
And it's something now that I think is more like healthy in a way because you're not going to find out the other person's a psycho and it's not going to work out. I mean, you had your fun.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, like, I feel like after I have sex with somebody, I'm almost committed. I'm almost like in a bind with them where I want to figure it out because even as a guy, we don't want to be spreading our seeds everywhere.
No.
So once I finally get into that position with a girl, I'm like, okay, let's.
What position? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Well, mostly, you know. Anyways, but yeah. I want to figure it out with her though. I feel like I'm in a bind with you now. We've connected on a different level. Let's figure this out. And I felt like I'd rush into that, so I'd always be with girls that had red flags.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
You know, but it would lead to obviously just all.
I don't like quitters around these parts anymore.
Hell no. It would just lead to chaos. You know.
For sure, man. And you know, going back to part 1, we talked a lot about setting expectations.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where, you know, that open line of authenticity and communication, it goes directly towards this part right here, right? So you've established this nice emotional connection with somebody. You're ready to take to that step. Dude, don't be afraid to get after it. You know, like experiment, you know, try the things that are going to please both you and the partner. It's hard because I know like how damn insecure I was, you know, about like, oh God, it was
a maturity thing though, right?
It totally was. Because, like, you know, you think that being able-bodied is going to automatically make you better and this for your partner. Total bullshit.
Yeah.
Total complete bullshit. There's something, especially, I think, like, with women that, like, the intimacy and, like, the emotional and the mental plays so much into the physical.
Right.
And that was something, you know, that maybe I didn't realize until this.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's something that, you know, it stems from making that deeper connection felt, because then the physical is going to be like so much better.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have listened all along to sex ed, dude.
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's interesting too, because I've noticed before, like maybe I rushed into things, right? Or I rushed that. Now when I sit there and I look back at somebody and ask them, well, what kind of things do you like? Or, you know, I see girls' expressions now and they're like, I've never had a guy ask me that before. You know, and like it breaks down their walls and like makes them feel more special, because you're kind of like, you're taking them out of a group of girls and you're putting them on a pedestal and saying like, what it is about you that you like, what do you enjoy? And by breaking that down, my relationship has been so much more intimate and exciting. And with the trust factor, the communication, it makes it more like just fulfilling. Whereas before, when you're kind of rushing into it, you kind of lump them together. You're like, well, the last girlfriend I dated like this, so I'm going to try this and that. And, you know, there's nothing special about it, you know, and you kind of go from girl to girl to girl, you know, and there's just nothing about it. Now I feel like every relationship I've had has had a lasting impact on me.
Totally. And I think there's something to be said too, and I know we've touched on it before, but finding comfort in discomfort, like getting out of those comfort zones, you know, like pushing yourself and your boundaries,
right?
You know, and that's just not like some sick sexual reference. That's like that's like actually like trying to get outside and do some things. That's trying to like, you know, see like, okay, what the hell am I capable of in this wheelchair? Right. Like I was just talking earlier today with my girlfriend about like, hey, you know, we've been doing we've been doing this backyard camping thing. Like, dude, we can easily go down to San Onofre and camp on the beach. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
You know, pack it up, come back in the morning, and then get ready for my day.
Right.
And do my thing. You know, it's like
when did you feel comfortable enough in that relationship to ask her to do the kind of the more personal things?
Yeah. So I'll reiterate again. In my relationships, I never want to make my partner, my spouse, my nurse. I don't want. You
don't want to feel like a burden either. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I don't want to feel
like a burden.
I know, like, you know, it wears on people. So like trying to spread the responsibilities out and helping taking care of me and whatnot.
Because you have full-time help. I have help as well.
Mm-hmm. But I do it out of love, you know, because I have been that person that has become codependent and so like involved with a person that I was only comfortable with them helping me, and I was only like, you know, I needed it because I was so broken. And what happened when that relationship failed? It broke me. It completely broke me.
You had to start over from not only an emotional standpoint, but also a physical standpoint, which is way harder than most people's breakups ever.
Yeah, it's a brutal thing. It's, you know, when I came into this, you know, SCI life, you know, I had been dating someone for 4.5 years, able-bodied. Yeah. And that kept going, you know, into this situation. It was like such a whirlwind, you know. And then so once I finally, like, that relationship ended and I was stuck here, it was like, holy shit. Like, I am so nervous to put myself out there again. Yeah. I was an insecure chap. Let me tell you that much, mate.
You and everybody else. You know what I mean? I was in a very traditional relationship too, 3-4 years with somebody where I was, you know, the man of the relationship, where I'd pick her up and carry her and move this or that, or do a lot of physical stuff, get the cut from the top shelf, you know, things like that. And then I'm put into this situation where all of a sudden I can't even feed myself. Right. You know what I mean? Like I have a picture of me where I'm like, I have top ramen all over my chest because I can't get a fork to my mouth, you know? Yeah. And it's humbling and it's like embarrassing, you know? And to get through that to where we're at now, 7-8 years later, it's like we just kind of give the girls that we're dating breadcrumbs. You know, if you can handle this, I'll give you more.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Kind of like baby feeding them a little bit. Okay, you can handle the carrots? Okay, we'll give you the peas next. You know, but I found that to be more easier for them to transition to what the reality is. You know, we also do it in a way that we're not embarrassed of anymore either.
Totally.
Like we own our situations. Yeah. You know, there's nothing to be embarrassed about actually. You know, because we're doing better than most guys our age anyways. So it's, you know, if you're in our situation and you're getting into a relationship and you're trying to figure out how to maintain it while you're dealing with some type of disability, give them breadcrumbs. Don't ever just give them a full pasta meal. Give them a little breadcrumbs, let them introduce them there. You know, be confident what you're giving them, but, you know, do it slowly. Do it with your own pace.
Yeah, and patience. Yeah. You know, something that is totally a real thing with relationships that I, you know, had struggled with in the past was that relationships operate at different speeds. Just because you know, ramped up from this point to this point in a matter of a couple months with one person doesn't mean that's going to be the exact same thing with the next person. No. You know, like I think slow and steady could be something with somebody, and you could be hot and heavy and quick with another. Right. You know, and it's like all about finding like what that, you know, that, what's the word I'm looking for? That right moment, that right fit. What's the word, bro?
Like I don't know. I always feel like I'm a jigsaw puzzle and I'm always trying to find the right piece that fits me. Whoa. But like I felt like I was chasing these waves sometimes. Like, you know, like every surfer's always trying to chase those tubes. And I was chasing them, but I realized what do waves always do? They always crash. You know what I mean? What I needed to chase was that.
That was that meme. Everyone's like, oh shit.
Yes.
Dude, talk about getting deep.
What I need to chase is you know,
feels, bro.
I need to chase the mellowness. I need to chase something that's steady, that's consistent, that's, you know, dependable. Yeah. You know, and I was chasing these crazy stuff, and I just found myself always at the end of the road of just being disappointed. You know what I mean? So I took a giant step back, and right now I'm all about just kind of open. Whatever happens, one day at a time.
Yeah.
You know, hoping that one person just kind of steals my attention, but until then, I'm just gonna kind of keep things going.
For sure, man. And I think it's always good, kind of like doing that checkup from the neck up in a relationship too. Every once in a while, like, where are we going? What are we doing? And you don't need to like be like, so, you know.
How many people are afraid to ask that to their partner?
Dude, so many, I'm sure. You know, like, I think having, like, if you're in a, like, serious relationship and you're, you know, continuing to march forward, kind of like starting to test those waters of, like, what are your goals in life? Like, what are your family plans? Like, what are those things? Like, having tough conversations, I think, is something
crucial.
You know, crucial, like, tough, future-oriented, like, conversations.
I'm right with you.
Big time.
I feel like our generation is scared to ask somebody they're dating now, like, hey, do you love me? Do you care about me? If so, okay, what's our plan? You know, and we're like 6 months into this relationship now. We're trying to maintain things. What's the plan? You know, like, do you see us living together in a year? Do you see us getting married in 2 years? Like, and it doesn't mean that, like, I want this, like, right now.
Right.
But I would like to kind of gauge where you're at. You know, we spend
sure.
a ton of time together. We're going on these dates. You've met your family. You've met mine. You know, maybe you have somebody else. You know, I mean, like, let's figure this out. Let's get serious.
That makes an amazing point, and it makes me think of something, and this goes especially to all the younger cats out there.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid to have conversations in person. Yeah. Don't pretend like things are all fine and dandy.
Yes.
And then hit me with a novel afterwards where I'm like, where the hell did this come from, mate? You know?
Mate?
You know, for God's sakes, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you got to have that authentic in-person conversation.
Yes.
And, you know, test those waters, and, you know, like, it.
Or at least pick up the damn phone.
Pick up the phone. It's one
Call
thing,
somebody.
It's one thing to, you know, want to get your words right and put them out there. Like, there's something to be said for the written word, but also something that's just, like, authentic and heartfelt.
Yeah.
That, like, damn, dude, we needed that.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was a rocky conversation that we could take a step back from, like, afterwards, and just be like, shit, like, that was it right there. Like, we needed that, and here we go. I know where you're coming from.
There's something to be said when you can actually call the person you're dating and be on the phone with that person for an hour or two and be like, damn, we were just talking for an hour or two.
Yeah. We're
such in a, like, convenient space in our life right now.
Yeah.
Where, like, during this quarantine, everybody's kind of backed away from everybody, right? And we'll tell, hey, how you doing? We'll text somebody here and there, but if you're dating somebody, you haven't called them or FaceTime them during this quarantine, that says a lot about your relationship.
For sure, man. So you need to assess yourself.
Exactly.
Check that shit.
And call somebody sometimes. Like, I know everybody's scared to call somebody that just started dating, but you know how much a girl or guy would appreciate you calling them and wanting to have a conversation with them?
Hearing your voice.
Game
it's
time.
One thing saying words, but
checkmate. That's game,
you know?
Sir.
And then when all else fails, dang, bro. If that ain't right, you got to end that stuff. And that's the stuff we're going to be getting into in part 3. So, I mean, stick around.
Part 3 is basically going to be about, you didn't listen to anything we just said in the first 2 episodes.
You blew it.
You blew it.
You got to do it too quickly.
Now you just got dumped. You just met Ghost Malone. And that's where you're at.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, you did. And you know what? You put up a false front here and you thought you were managing. All you were doing was being fake.
Yeah.
Fake.
So what you need to do with this episode is go ahead and rewind it and listen to it again. Then share it with all your friends, all your little girly friends. You know what? Make a party. Do a slumber party right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do like a Zoom party. Listen to our episode.
Hey.
Share, like, subscribe, and show some love.
Yeah. Because at this point, your relationship is the virtual background of those African guys carrying the casket. Like, hey, you're going down, bro. So we're going to get into all that fun stuff about breakups, how to manage those. Yep. We could talk a lot better about that. I don't know why the hell we're telling you guys about managing relationships. We're a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're a handful.
Hey, but you know what? If you learn from mistakes, then you can learn from us.
Yeah, but we love you guys. Tune in for episode 3 coming next week, every Wheel Wednesday. Coming at you. We love you. It's your boy and your boy. Out.
I laid us.
Mic drop if I could. Damn it.